Those of you who have been around long enough know that the chief focus of this ministry is helping Christians with their mental health, helping people with mental illness, helping people deal with addiction, helping people deal with past trauma. That's our focus here, and it's going to continue to be our main focus. But because mental illness is so central, mental health in general is so central to every aspect of our lives, naturally this ministry has a lot of crossover with other parts of the Christian religion. In terms of what I'm involved with, the thing that has the most crossover is Christian polemics. This is the debate between Christians of various traditions debating effectively, trying to figure out which Christian tradition or denomination is ultimately correct. And it makes sense that there is crossover between that and my own ministry, because people get very, very afraid when they first encounter inter-Christian polemics. A lot of people were raised in a single Christian tradition and don't know a whole lot about other Christian traditions. And once you find out that there's all these other people who claim to be Christians who have all these disagreements with you, some of which don't even think that Christians outside of their camp are even Christians at all, that gets terrifying. That's something that terrified me for a long, long time. And this is to be expected. Theology and church history, this is complicated stuff, and people come to varying conclusions who are all acting in good faith. So it's not surprising that all these different camps exist. It's not surprising that people jump ship and go to other traditions. We've seen clergy, apologists, very well-known people jump from one camp to another. And of course, within just the lay people, this happens all the time. It's really amazing how many young people there are right now making every effort to take their faith seriously. And thank God, that's beautiful. We want to see that. It's a wonderful thing. And what's really cool is that now people are more theologically literate than they've ever been. I mean, the internet, for all its faults, is such a treasure trove of information that you and I have more access to the historic writings of the fathers and theologians, the priests, pastors, bishops, deacons, and everyone in between throughout church history. We have more access to their writings than anyone else ever has. You have more access to more information than St. Augustine ever did, than St. Athanasius ever did. It's remarkable how literate you can become in a fairly short period of time because of the internet. And this is amazing if used responsibly. That's the problem. It often isn't used responsibly. So many people, after a very surface level reading of the scriptures, church history, theology, maybe only one of these three things, maybe none of them, people take it upon themselves to buy a webcam and start speaking almost like they are some self-appointed teacher on the internet, speaking on behalf of whatever it is that they believe. And a lot of times, especially because it's trendy right now, people will get in front of their webcam and they will start defending the Christian tradition that they belong to, even when they are really poorly equipped to do so. And what will happen is that new people who come onto the scene, people wanting to take their faith seriously and wanting to explore things beyond what they've been taught at their own church or in their home, so they take to the internet to try to start doing some study. What's a brilliant way to take in a lot of information quickly? YouTube videos, watching YouTube content. And it's really useful for that. But what happens when someone who is brand new to this gets on YouTube and looks up what it is to be a Lutheran, let's say, and they find some really good videos from some really good people who articulate the Lutheran position really strongly. But then you scroll down through enough videos and you see one video that's titled, "This one argument debunks Lutheranism," and the thumbnail is like, Martin Luther's head inside of a garbage can or something stupid like this. Well, a person is going to be tempted to click that video, and now they've watched a video of someone else who's done more reading than them, and this person is talking all about how Lutheranism is a damnable heresy. But what is this person left to do but watch another YouTube video to see if there's a way to debunk what that guy said? And what will often happen is the YouTube apologists will start to get clicks and engagement, and it goes to their head, and they get very, very arrogant and triumphalistic. And because of this, their content becomes very vitriolic and angry and kind of slimy and clickbaity, where the interest is not an earnest pursuit of theological truths. Rather, it's just about crushing the people that they disagree with. And then the person watching these videos falls into this unbearable angst because all these people seem so much more intelligent than the person watching the video that it's hopeless for them to try to get into the book. So they just have to rely on these YouTube apologists to try to act as the conduit to this information for them. And when it's so full of vitriol and hatred, what is a person left to do but pick sides and choose a camp based on what is convincing to you in the moment? And this almost becomes like picking your favorite team for a sport. You decide you're a Liverpool FC fan, and now you're just committed to that for better or for worse. But with this, objective truth is on the line, and yet you're still kind of forced to pick a team almost in the same way that you would pick an athletics team. So because of this, these apologists become the anchor for these people. That the people watching these YouTube videos place their trust, and in a weird, kind of terrifying way, put their faith in the hands of these apologists. That so long as their guy seems to be winning debates, they have peace of mind. But the moment he loses a debate, the angst takes over again. That's already full of problems. I made a whole video about that already. You can watch that. I'll link it in the description. That's my video called Who is the One True Church? Or What is the One True Church? I don't know what I named it. Now let me ask you this. Let's say you've fallen into that. I certainly did at one point. And then one of the guys that you really put your trust in, someone that you saw as a sort of champion for your side, the side that you ended up on, whatever that is, what happens when he converts? We've seen plenty of people convert already, but those people weren't your anchor. This person was. Say a non-denominational pastor who, made points that you thought were really compelling and that you thought were really, really helpful. Well, what happens when he comes out and he says, well, I'm Eastern Orthodox now? What does that do to the people who put their trust in that person? And this isn't me faulting this pastor for converting in this hypothetical. If a person becomes convinced that another tradition ultimately teaches the truth, their conscience binds them to follow that. My concern here isn't that this person, this pastor, converted. If there's good reasons for it, that is what needed to happen. My concern is for how the person who put all their faith in that pastor now feels. And don't get me wrong, these conversions are handled horribly all the time. I mean, we'll see people who will, and I mean this, within the span of a week or two, will go from having content put out that defends this position that they currently hold and speaks very confidently, defending their convictions of the time, and then within 2 weeks they make a video announcement saying that they're totally changing all their beliefs and everything they said before is false, and they start debunking their own past videos. That can be handled extremely poorly, and we see that happening all the time. And it's not even just any one person. I've witnessed this happen a number of times before. But what does the person who placed their faith in that pastor, this apologist, whoever it is, what happens to them now? Because their faith isn't rooted in their own understanding. It's not rooted in even their own trust of God. Their faith was ultimately rooted in the ability to debate of someone who they don't know personally in most cases. They picked a random stranger on the internet who they thought made compelling arguments and made that person the foundation of their faith. And because of that, now that their foundation got ripped out from underneath them, they have nothing to stand on. They fall into terror. What will you do when that happens? When your guy switches teams? Will you just apostatize? Will you pretend as if you never actually liked him in the first place and then you just move on to the next guy? What do you do? Do you just follow that person because you've already made them the object of your faith, so you go over there now? What do you do? I want you to have a healthy relationship with the people on the other side of the camera. I don't know most of you personally who watch my videos. And I am thankful that, my content has been able to help people, but good grief, I certainly hope your ability to deal with your mental health isn't chiefly because of my videos. I hope it's because you're spending time in the church and with your pastor and in the scriptures and getting whatever sort of care is necessary for you. The healthy relationship that you should be having with these online apologists is using them to help clarify, helping to introduce new ideas that you don't know, helping you to navigate the fathers' theology, just systematic theology in general. Any concept, the scriptures themselves, church history, whatever. Use these people to help you navigate them, but do not make them the object of your faith, nor should they be your primary means of consuming this information. Hit the books. Read for yourself. Audiobooks are awesome. Read the Bible every day and do all of this in a life of fervent and deep prayer. Use these people to challenge your positions. Listen to people. Read people that you disagree with. That's all good because you need to be able to navigate the various positions to ultimately end up at the truth. That's the right way to use these online apologists. And there's people I really like on all sides. So I don't want you to get this idea that like every polemicist on YouTube is slimy and clickbaity. Most of them are, I think. At least from my own perspective, I'm encountering way more slop than I encounter of like really solid polemics and apologetics. But there are really good guys out there. I want to just read some names off so that if you're curious, thinking, well, where do I go? These are some places you should go. If you want good stuff from the Anglicans, go listen to Sean Luke from Anglican Aesthetics. Go listen to Joe from Young Anglicans. Excellent YouTube channels. If you're a Lutheran, go listen to Javier Perdomo. Go listen to the Scholastic Lutherans guys. Go listen to Dr. Jordan Cooper. If you're a Methodist, my buddy Josh from Practical Christian Lessons, he's outstanding. Method Ministries, I don't know them as well. I like what I have seen. Go check them out. If you're a Baptist, Gavin Ortland's the guy. And deep cut here, Josh from Cultivating Christ for Baptists. Both of these guys are amazing. Canon and Creed and Biblical Understanding are great from the Reformed side. Eric Ybarra is unbelievably, he's brilliant, and he's very kind, he's very honest, he's very ironic. Eric Ybarra is absolutely the best that the Roman Catholics have to offer. For the Eastern Orthodoxy, Seraphim Hamilton and Telos Bound. Both of those guys are so kind, so charitable, so friendly, and I think they argue in good faith. Go check them out. If even for the Oriental Orthodox, I've got someone, Subdeacon Daniel from the Lion's Den. He's outstanding. He's historically very literate. He's a very kind man, very conversational. All of these people, you would do well to listen to them and to engage with their content, so long as you do not make these apologists the foundation of your faith. So allow these apologists, allow the church around you to compel you to dive deeper into the scriptures, to compel you to live in the church, to pray, to fast, to spend time in God's word, in personal time and in time with community. Read the writings of the holy men of the church throughout her history. Read the fathers for yourself, and don't just take whoever on the internet has to say about the fathers. If you don't do this, if you don't actually root yourself in your own study, you will be blown about with every breeze that passes because you're not rooted. Your foundation has been placed on something that is not firm. We're sinful people who make mistakes. We change our minds. We come to different conclusions. So when fallible men become the object of your faith, ultimately you will get fallible results. So place yourself on that which is infallible. Place yourself on the rock that will not give way. Build your foundation on God, on Jesus Christ, in God's Word. When you are saturated in the Word and when you have studied it and you know it for yourself, then when this pastor who you put so much stock in jumps ship in a way that nobody saw coming, it won't rock your boat quite as much because your faith isn't rooted in that person. Your faith is rooted in the person of Jesus Christ. I hope this is helpful. Keep your heads up, guys. I'm praying for you. God's peace.